Life City family, what is up? It is Art and Bobby coming back at you in the grocery store, in the condiment section actually, more specifically the Asian condiments, because I want to go over some pantry staples that I always have in my pantry to create massive flavor, not just in Asian dishes, but all dishes. I want to talk about rice. Look at this wall of rice right here. I get a lot of questions about what kind of rice to buy, avoid, brown rice versus wild rice, arsenic levels, which is actually kind of crazy, so stick around for that. And then we'll go over to the spices aisle. I want to show you Chinese 5 spice. It's one of my favorite spices around. Before we do our thing, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share, all those lovely things. But the most important thing of all is a bell icon right below the video. Enable all notifications because especially for the month of January, daily content is going live, including the live stream on Friday, hashtag Fridays with Flav. You do not want to miss out and you want to get a push. All right, let's talk about condiments. Let's talk about the one that everyone knows about and probably has in your fridge. It's sriracha sauce. Now this is great because it adds a little bit of fermented heat. The thing is, I think the sriracha sauce that really put sriracha on the map is the one with the rooster on there. I used to buy that and I guarantee a lot of you guys have that in your fridge or pantry. The thing is, I would not buy that. If you look at the back of the ingredients, it has 2 pretty nasty preservatives and sorbates that you don't really want in your body, and you don't have to do that. So I would replace it with actually, this is a great brand here, Sky Valley. They make small batch sriracha. And if you look at the ingredients, very clean. There's no preservatives. They have a little bit of xanthan gum here for emulsifier. Citric acid is a preservative, but it's pretty much harmless. But you'll notice there's cane sugar. Are you gonna be worried about that? Well, number one, it's 1 gram of sugar per teaspoon. You don't need that much. But all srirachas, repeat, all are gonna have a little bit of sugar. Why is that the case? Because sugar helps the fermentation process get started. Sriracha is a fermented product, so you really need that. There's also a bunch of other options here. We come over here. My favorite is this, and if you buy it from Walmart, instead of being $7.99, it's $5. It's a really good deal. Now, let's stay over here and go right down to coconut aminos. These are really interesting because a lot of people use this as an alternative to soy sauce. Some people don't eat soy, and soy is actually not paleo. This is the sap from coconut blossoms. It's the nectar, and it's aged and reduced a little bit, and it's really tasty. My only issue with aminos is that it doesn't have that salty, what I call umami flavor, or that fermented funk. So I don't love this all the time, so I do have it in my fridge, but I'd much rather get this. Check this out. This is tamari. And the reason why I love tamari is because it still is a fermented soy product. Of course, it's non-GMO, you have to look for that. But if I look at the ingredient list here, you'll see there's no wheat. Traditional soy sauce is made with wheat. We don't eat any wheat at home, right? We have no grains, no wheat. This still gives you, once again, that fermented soy umami funk without the wheat. And if you get my cookbook, the Keto Meal Prepping Cookbook, a lot of my Asian recipes and some non-Asian will have this too because it just delivers a ton of flavor, and I much prefer it over the amino. So I would go with the low sodium if you can, but tamari is where it's at, you guys. I love this stuff. And then I see out of the corner of my eye, this is sweet chili sauce. We love this stuff, right? Because it adds that nice sweetness to dishes. The problem is, I repeat, every one of these on the market is gonna have sugar, usually high fructose corn syrup too. This one doesn't have that. But guys, here's my issue. It's 15 grams of added sugar for 2 tablespoons. When you have a sweet and sour chicken, you're probably using 2 tablespoons plus. So we're talking about at least 4 teaspoons of white cane sugar, up to 8 teaspoons. You really don't want this one. I actually made my own recipe of sweet chili sauce that uses agave nectar, rice wine vinegar, and sriracha. You reduce it for 2 minutes and it's done. It's fantastic. I don't make it too much because agave still is high in fructose, which can make you insulin resistant over time. So even though agave is a low glycemic sweetener, it still is high in fructose. But I'll put that recipe down below. I make that with my Asian shrimp cakes that are delicious, right? So darn tasty. Okay, we continue to look at other Asian condiments. Check this out. And this brand is fantastic. This is fish sauce. And we talked about this in the Trader Joe's video a long time ago, and I heard from a bunch of people this is a great brand. What's so cool about this stuff is, once again, we talk about fermented funk or umami. Really, really important in Asian cooking. How they make fish sauce is crazy. They stack a ton of small fish on top of each other, usually like a sardine. They salt it, they let it age, and it gets super funky. Then they press it, and they get all the juice out, and that's this juice. It sounds nasty as can be, but a little bit of this goes a long way in stir fries, sauces, or if you make a pho, delicious, right? So I actually have that in my pantry at all times. Oh, down here also. This is something I highly recommend having in your fridge. It's toasted sesame oil, right? I don't generally use the regular sesame, but when it's toasted, it's this. It's these, whoa, save. It's the toasted sesame seeds. When you toast it, you get more flavor, and then they're pressed into an oil. You guys, this is strong stuff, but this stuff adds so much flavor. In my cooking, in my cookbook, I call it the holy trinity of sauces, and I say stock your pantry with this. I say stock it with tamari and stock it with sriracha. You can do wonders with these 3 items right here. It's amazing. So always have the sesame oil. It's a must. And then I think that might be it. Hey, raise your hand. I have not used this yet, but can someone tell me the best way to use gochujang? It's a fermented Korean chili paste. Ingredients are really interesting. There we go. Right? Chili peppers. It's got wheat flour. I didn't know that. But it's fermented too. So if someone knows a good way to use that, can we marinate chicken with that? I'd love to know because I want to start using that more. But hopefully I can get one without wheat because we don't do any wheat. Check it out before we end here. Rice wine vinegar is a lovely vinegar because it's not very sour. It's more on the sweet side, but be careful. When you get rice vinegar, get the unseasoned because the seasoned one here, if you punch in on the ingredients, has sugar, right? And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they use this for the sushi rice, but this is a really great thing to use for not just Asian stuff, but if you want to make a salad dressing that's not too vinegary or acidic, rice vinegar is fantastic. Okay, so that's it, right? A lot of options here, and I feel like a lot of people don't really go into depth with them, but I wanted to explore them. Now, let's go right across the way here. Rice. I've been getting a ton of requests for a rice video, and I thought I'd bundle into this one because sometimes people combine the sauces with the rice. If you're gonna eat rice, something we don't do at home because we're keto paleo, well, you have an option of getting brown versus white. Now, here's the deal. In terms of nutrition, white rice is what I consider a no nutrient grain. Brown rice has way more nutrients here because it still has the hull and the bran. So the difference between this and this is, see the brown? It has this outer hull and bran on there that has fiber, that has vitamins, that has nutrients. This is all of that good stuff removed. And so I hate to talk bad about a food like this, but this is a simple carbohydrate, a simple starch that really has no nutritional benefit. It's high in the glycemic index. It's going to spike your blood sugar. So this is not something I would eat. The troubling thing about all rices is that they're high in arsenic. Arsenic is a heavy metal that's natural from the ground. But for some reason, rice scores very high in arsenic. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, brown rice scores even higher for some reason. So what I would do is not eat any of this. I would come over here, Art. I would get this. This, my friends, is wild rice. And the funny thing about this, it's not a rice at all, technically. It's a aquatic grass. And what's so cool about that, because it's a grass, zero heavy metals or arsenic, whereas this has really high arsenic, right? And the cool thing also is that it has high fiber, more fiber than rice. And when I do want to make a fried rice, I will use this. The only issue with wild rice is that it takes a long time to cook. You have to boil this for about 50 to 60 minutes in salted boiling water. But I have a recipe, you guys, for a wild rice salad with roasted vegetables. I'll put down below. It's unbelievable. So if you want to eat grains, I probably wouldn't eat this. Reach for the wild rice. You can buy it in the bulk section at most grocery stores, and I think Trader Joe's has a decent price because it can be kind of expensive. It's $6.49 for 14 ounces, so it's way more than white rice or the other stuff, but that is what I'm all about when it comes to rice. All right, for the final condiment, let's take a journey over to the spice aisle because there's something called Chinese 5-spice, which I love. All right, let's see if I can find it. Here we go. This is something I always have in my pantry. It's Chinese 5-spices powder. And the reason why I like it, it's 5 spices in one. So you're essentially getting a spice rub. instead of having to buy 5 spices. The thing is, I always forget 1 spice, so on the spot, can I remember this? Chinese 5 spices made up of Szechuan peppercorns, cinnamon, fennel, clove, and star anise. Let's see if I'm right. Cinnamon, fennel, clove, star, oh, white pepper. Oh, it's normally Szechuan peppercorn, but Art is the judge. Does that count? Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. All right. This is really cool because I would sprinkle it on, I can't believe you did that to me, Art. I always forget and I got it that time. I would sprinkle it on chicken. I would use it the same way you would garlic or onion powder, but in Asian recipes, you can dust it on pork chops, chicken, steak. It's delicious. So just pick it up. Ideally, if you can get it in the bulk section, like we talked about in the spice video the other week, that'd be better. So you guys, a lot of options when it comes to me making a mess and when it comes to condiments, right? But I hope that video helped, especially with the rice. Now you know what to stock into your pantry. Like, subscribe, share. These videos are not only a ton of fun to make, but they're a ton of fun when you share it because this channel right now is growing like a beast and it's all because of you. So we got 2 more videos going below us right now. But Art and I will see you very soon. Until then, we say unto like we always do, hashtag keep on cooking, mad love and peace.